Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, an SUV van caught fire near the Lavaca River Bridge. And the Hallettsville Police Department arrested a Houston man on 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance. Plus, President Biden continues on the campaign trail ahead of the November election.
And the first day of spring officially passed yesterday, but with spring around, we got some spring-like temperatures and spring-like storms tomorrow. We'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
Victoria East versus Victoria West was as wild as you would expect. I'll have that coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 20th day of March 2024. The time is now 6:30 on our Wednesday morning. And today it's French Language Day.
French Language Day. So ask me something. Did you try to learn any French?
Comment je m'appelle? I think that's how. What is your name?
Oui.
His name is yes. I say je suis Caroline. That's how we said my name in French class was Caroline.
I'm gonna take your word for that because I don't know French.
All right, Parker. Well, how is the weather looking out there?
Well, Carolina, looking a little chilly out there right now. In fact, if y'all tuned in with us this morning, you're looking live here in Victoria. It's actually Eastern Victoria. You can see there's Loop 463. And Carolina, am I correct on this? Is this Houston Highway that runs to the airport?
Yes.
That's Houston Highway. Okay.
Well, it becomes, yes, it's Houston Highway, also known as Rio Grande, and then by the time...
Oh, yeah, Rio Grande. I knew it cut off at some point.
By the time we get there, it becomes Business 59.
Yeah, okay, that's it. See, I always get my roads mixed up. But Rio Grande going into the highway, Eastern Victoria here, a little chilly out there this morning. In fact, if y'all tuning in with us this morning, if I get my clicker working here, I'm gonna go to the computer here. Not working for me. Right now, all of us in the mid and upper 50s this morning. A little bit chilly out there. You might want to grab a jacket before you head out because, like I said, a little bit chilly after that cold front came through on Monday morning. A tad bit humid out there as well, but not crazy humid. Right now, all of us in the mid and upper 50s this morning. But with a little bit of a cool morning, we've got another cool day today, getting only up into the 60s this afternoon. Looking at your weather headlines here for today, it's going to be cool today. Like I said, with a couple of spotty showers possible later this afternoon, with strong to severe thunderstorms possibly coming our way tomorrow. But looking at your temperatures for today, temperatures going to be rising back into I think probably the mid and upper 60s this afternoon. I'm thinking probably around 67 is what I'm thinking for today. But then tomorrow, like I said, we might see some strong thunderstorms. Right now, look at the radar, nothing out there, which this computer thought there'd be a couple showers, but nothing out there right now. But coming our way today, maybe a couple real light showers before the strong stuff comes our way tomorrow. We're going to look at that and more in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Texas's new immigration law has been blocked again. Late Tuesday, a federal appeals court stopped a state law allowing Texas police to arrest people suspected of illegally crossing the Texas-Mexico border just hours after the U.S. Supreme Court had allowed it to go into effect. SB 4 seeks to make illegally crossing the border a Class B misdemeanor, carrying a punishment of up to 6 months in jail. Repeat offenders could face a second-degree felony with a punishment of 2 to 20 years in prison. The law would also require state judges to order migrants to return to Mexico if they are convicted. Critics say SB 4 could create racial profiling problems in a state where 40% of the population is Latino. We'll go to Washington later for more. On Tuesday, an SUV van caught fire near the Lavaca River Bridge, southbound on Highway 59, just outside of Edna. The Edna Police Department and Jackson County Emergency Services worked together to put out the fire. While they handled the incident, the roadway in the area was closed for about an hour. On Tuesday, the Hallettsville Police Department arrested a Houston man on 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance. During a traffic stop, officers say they found about 20 grams of Xanax pills and around 5 grams of hydrocodone pills inside the vehicle. The 37-year-old was booked into the Lavaca County Jail. His name was not available. The CDC issued a measles alert to doctors Monday, hoping to raise awareness about the dramatic rise in cases, both here and abroad. Health leaders say there have already been 58 confirmed cases of measles in the U.S. this year. This is it. Excuse me. The same number as all of last year. Most were linked to international travel and involved children at least 1 year old who had not been vaccinated. The CDC is urging parents with young children to have them vaccinated if they plan to travel to countries with current outbreaks, including Austria, the Philippines, and the United Kingdom. Despite a perception that crime is on the rise, new data from the FBI shows crime rates are actually declining and in a big way. The new fourth quarter numbers show a 13% decline in murders for 2023 compared to 2022. There's also a 6% decline in reported violent crimes and a 4% decline in reported property crime. The FBI won't release final data on the 2023 crime statistics until October of this year, but those numbers make for a promising start. Now on to politics and more primary results coming in overnight. Former President Trump getting some mixed results.
Overnight, a win for former President Trump in Ohio's closely watched GOP Senate primary. Trump-backed candidate Bernie Moreno, a Colombian-born former car dealer, declaring victory in a three-way race, seen as a battle against the state's Republican Party establishment.
Well, let me just say something. I wear with honor my endorsement of from President Trump. I wear that with a badge of honor.
Moreno will take on Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown in November, a race crucial for Republicans' hopes of taking control of the Senate. But last night's results, not all good news for Trump. He won Ohio's presidential primary, but exit polls show there is still a significant percentage of Republicans unwilling to support him in the general election.
Very striking to see 1 in 5, 19% roughly of Republican voters in Ohio saying that they would not support Donald Trump in November. That is a big number in a battleground state.
Both Trump and Biden now trying to court voters by focusing on the issues. Trump promising to support Israel, impose tariffs on Chinese-made cars, and yesterday in a radio interview, he left the door open to a potential federal ban on abortion beginning at 15 weeks with exceptions.
15 weeks seems to be a number that people are agreeing at, but I'll make that announcement at the appropriate time.
President Biden hit the campaign trail in Nevada and Arizona, trying to mobilize Latino voters. He touted his record on job creation and pushed his plan to raise taxes on billionaires from 8% to 25%.
The tax system now is not fair. Trump wants another $2 trillion tax cut. That's what he says he wants, the first thing he wants to do when he gets elected.
Also in Ohio last night, Trump-backed congressional candidate Derek Merrin won his primary race, and that seat is seen as one of the best pickup opportunities for Republicans this fall. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now just about 6:38 on our Wednesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. The local school district continuing to face the issue of chronic absenteeism.
Mary Russum in Washington, a controversial Texas law that would allow local police to arrest migrants is back on hold. That story coming up.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your school bus forecast, followed by your weather and health forecast. And later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at those strong thunderstorms coming our way tomorrow. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're all tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live in Cuero. A little bit chilly out there and also a little cloudy out there as well. I know you can't really see any cloud cover here on the camera. That's because it's all really high up there and a little bit dark out there as well. But right now, with it being pretty dark out there and cloudy right now, but chilly 55 degrees out there in Cuero this morning. But 2.6 degrees off that temperature, got a 92% humidity. So it's just a tad tiny bit humidity, or tiny bit humid, but not too crazy. But we might see some showers coming our way later this afternoon that are going to build off of that humidity. But if you're sending your kiddos out the door, it's going to be about 54. A little chilly, you might want to pack up that jacket. But as they're heading home, about 67, with maybe a couple showers in the vicinity. Possible later this afternoon. Really light ones though. But looking at where the hill forecast here for today, grass pollen is going to be high, tree pollen is going to be moderate today, and UV is going to be low because it's going to be pretty cloudy today with maybe a couple of showers. But coming our way tomorrow, we got some possible severe thunderstorms. We're going to take a look at that and more in just a few moments. Back to you, Carolina, or back to you, Zach Brown.
Victoria East versus Victoria West always seems to live up to the hype, but in the 6th inning, the Titans led 6-3, and it looked like a certain East victory until it wasn't. A walk loaded the bases for West, and in stepped Grace Weiler, who smoked one to right center field. It got down, 1 run scores, 2 runners going to score, and the ball gets away, and West trying to send the tying run to the plate. The throw could never get her. We're tied at 6 in the bottom of the 6th inning on the stand-up triple from Victoria West. And the next batter, well, she does her job, just sends one out to right field. The sacrifice fly gives Victoria West the lead, in the bottom part of the 6th inning. What an incredible rally, but the East Titans needing some magic with 2 outs in the 7th, slow roller, but the throw is gonna be late, so on we play, and a few batters later, West still looking for that final out. The throw hits the base runner, rolls away. The Titans have tied it, and the next batter delivers a base knock to left. The Titans respond with a 4th spot of their own. East steals the victory. Final score 10-7. And congratulations to Victoria West. Bo Woods walk-off victory over Ray. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. The controversial immigration enforcement law in Texas is once again on hold. Hours after the Supreme Court allowed the law to go into effect, a federal appeals court blocked it. The law would give police in Texas broad power to arrest people suspected of crossing the border illegally.
This morning, a federal appeals court putting a law on hold that would allow Texas police to arrest migrants. Hours after the Supreme Court ruled that law could go into effect.
I think it's the right policy for the state of Texas. We have to have a secure border.
The law is called SB 4, and it gives police in Texas broad powers to arrest and jail migrants suspected of illegally crossing the border.
I think it would be fair to interpret it as a law never intended on incarcerating people, and a law intended really to deter people.
The law would also allow police to deport migrants to Mexico, even if that's not where they came from.
What we don't want is persons of color to be targeted for no other reason than the color of their skin.
Mexico's foreign minister calls the law xenophobic. The Biden administration calls it unconstitutional and a violation of federal law. The Supreme Court rejecting the White House's request to put the law on hold as it's being challenged in the lower courts. Justice Amy Coney Barrett writing in her concurring opinion, they want the Court of Appeals to render its judgment first before the High Court rules on whether the law is constitutional. In a scathing dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor warning the decision invites further chaos and crisis in immigration enforcement. The border crisis is a key issue on the campaign trail, former President Trump promising mass deportations if elected.
We're going to get the criminals out of our country right away.
President Biden is pushing the bipartisan border security bill, which passed the Senate, but it's stalled in the House by Republicans at the request of Trump.
This bill would save lives and bring order to the border.
The law is on hold for now. Today, the appeals court will hear arguments on whether it should stay on hold until they rule on its legality. The hearing was supposed to happen in 2 weeks. It was moved to today. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
The Victoria Independent School District continues to face the issue of chronic absenteeism, which means students are consistently missing days of school. The district says chronic absenteeism leads to knowledge gaps and academic disengagement. Now, VISD plans to launch an awareness campaign to educate the community about the consequences of chronic absenteeism. Campuses will also implement early intervention systems prioritizing attendance. That leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, has your child missed school in the last month? Okay, let's take a look. 31% of you say yes, your child has missed school in the last month. 20% of you say no, and 49% of you say this question does not apply to you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. The time is now 6:45 on our Wednesday morning. Still to come, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission has warned against water beads.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. Well, it appears we got just a couple really light showers in our area that kind of developed, especially in the morning. And take a look at your rainfall totals yesterday. Couldn't get the number to come up, but I can tell you safely that here in Victoria, we got about 0.05 of an inch. Very, very tiny. We're talking that's like just a little tiny bit of rain. But in Goliad and Beeville and Raphael, y'all might have gotten maybe 1/10 of an inch, maybe even like locally, maybe 1/4 of an inch, because there were a couple stronger showers out there yesterday morning. But this morning, look at the radar. There's nothing out there this morning. In fact, the computer thought there would be a couple showers out there, and even they were wrong this morning. But I'm not thinking there's going to be any showers out there. Maybe in the real late morning there might be a couple developing. But going into this afternoon is our much better shot at seeing some real light showers, real light scattered showers, kind of like it was yesterday As we go into tonight, though, it's going to start picking up, and going into tomorrow morning, we might see a couple of thunderstorms starting to develop along the coast. And going into the afternoon, when the sun comes out and starts heating up the land, yes, the sun will come through, it'll shine through the clouds just a little bit in the afternoon. That's what's going to stir up all of the trouble all across the crossroads tomorrow, where we could see some strong to maybe even some severe thunderstorms, some couple supercells out there tomorrow. But then tomorrow night is the last hurrah coming through our area, probably a little bit before midnight. But even the National Weather Service has a level 1 out of 5 risk for all of these counties here in green. So that's the encapsulates the entire crossroads area. But as you zoom out here, you can see where the rest of the area, the risk area is, all the way up into central North Texas. But the main risk for tomorrow is going to be large hail and damaging winds, although not very likely. As you can see, it's just moderate. But tornado cannot really be ruled out. But we'll take a look at all that more in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission has now warned against water beads. The commission is warning consumers to immediately stop using the large water beads, as the beads contain high levels of acrylamide, which violates the Federal Hazardous Substances Act. If swallowed, it can be toxic, especially for children, causing negative health effects. The Yango store large water bead sets were sold online at Amazon from March 2017 through November 2023. Certain fruits and vegetables you eat may contain high levels of pesticides. This year's Shopper's Guide to Pesticides in Produce says approximately 95% of non-organic strawberries, leafy greens, grapes, peaches, and pears contain pesticides. Dubbed the Dirty Dozen, nectarines, apples, bell, and hot peppers, along with cherries, berries, and green beans, rounded out the list for the most contaminated samples of produce. Pesticides have been linked to preterm births and heart disease, cancer, and other disorders. But avocados, sweet corn, pineapples, onions, and papayas lead the Clean 15 list with no detectable pesticide residues. To reduce pesticide levels, clean your fruit with running water. This year's World Happiness Report is out, and the U.S. did not make the top 20. The U.S. came in at number 23, dropping due to a rise in happiness among other countries. This year's report was the first to include separate ranking by age groups. In the U.S., happiness scores for people under 30 years old were dramatically lower than people 60 and older. It's also the first time the U.S. has dropped out of the top 20 since the first time the report was published in 2012. The report says overall, globally, young people aged 15 to 24 years old experienced improved life satisfaction between 2006 and 2019. Finland topped the list for the 7th time. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. In California, authorities have found the body of a missing teen. In California, authorities have found the body of a missing Stockton teenager nearly a week after he went missing. Tuesday, the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office confirmed the body of 15-year-old Xavier Martinez was located in a river. The Stockton Unified School District says 4 students were involved in a fight on campus last week. Authorities say two of the students, ran from a school resource officer and jumped into a levee that led to the river. While one student got out of the water, Martinez never resurfaced. Family members of the teen say they won't speak publicly until they learn more. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin will host Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Golan at the Pentagon next week. The two will take part in a bilateral meeting to discuss several topics, including efforts to secure the release of hostages held by Hamas. They're also expected to discuss the need for more humanitarian aid to reach Palestinian civilians, as well as plans to ensure the safety of more than 1 million people sheltering in Rafah. The meeting is separate from Monday's announcement that followed a call between President Joe Biden and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who agreed to send a team of senior officials to Washington to discuss developments regarding the war in Gaza. Actor Jonathan Majors facing a lawsuit from his former girlfriend claiming he physically and verbally abused her in a nearly 2-year relationship. The suit accuses the former Marvel actor of battery, assault, intentional infliction of emotional distress, malicious prosecution, and defamation. Majors' former girlfriend, Grace Jabari, filed the lawsuit Tuesday. The legal action comes just months after Majors faced a guilty verdict for 1 count of reckless assault and a non-criminal charge of harassment after a domestic dispute in spring of 2023. An attorney for Majors says the actor is preparing counterclaims against Grace Jabari. Keep Victoria Beautiful needs your help for the Victoria Day of Caring. That's set for Saturday, April 13th. The spring trash off roadway cleanup is part of TxDOT's Adopt a Highway program, and Keep Victoria Beautiful will clean about 8 miles of roadway. Volunteers will get a t-shirt and a food ticket for the De Leon Plaza expansion ribbon cutting and the De Leon statue dedication that same day. Volunteers will meet at the Target parking lot near Loop 463, and the cleanup is from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sued the Houston area developers of Colony Ridge on Thursday, accusing them of deceptive sales, marketing, and lending practices that allowed their sprawling housing development to flourish. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And the time is now 6:58 It's on our Wednesday morning. Let's take a look at our forecast with Parker. Parker, your tie is telling me that we may get some rain in our forecast.
Yes, I have the shower tie on. I actually have the whole shower sheet on today because we might see a couple scattered showers out there this afternoon. Right now, a little chilly though, 56 degrees here in Victoria, all of us in the mid and upper 50s this morning. A little chilly, you might want to grab a jacket if you're heading out the door this morning, but today it's going to be a little chilly, kind of cool all day today, only getting up to, I think, about 67 degrees for this afternoon before we drop back to the low 60s tonight. Looking at your radar, there is nothing on the radar right now, quiet and clear out there right now, but even the computer thought there might be a couple showers this morning, but that is not the case. But there is a good shot. I see a couple scattered real light showers out there this afternoon before tonight. Into tomorrow, we have a shot at seeing some strong to severe thunderstorms coming our way as early as tomorrow morning and going into the afternoon, which is why I have a possible alert day issued for tomorrow for the possible severe weather. So please be weather aware.
Keep us in the know, Parker.
Oh, I absolutely will.
All right, well, thank you, Parker, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Come to crossroadstoday.com and join us for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.